I'm Lieutenant Carol Riddle, and welcome to this week's Inside APD. In the news this week, the Arlington Police Department was recently chosen as the Feature Agency of the Month by the International Association of the Chiefs of Police, or the IACP. It was truly an honor for Arlington PD to have been chosen for this recognition. To read more about this selection, please visit the IACP's Center for Social Media. And speaking of social media, don't forget to tune in as Officer Gigi McDonald and Sergeant Chris Cook conduct another tweet-along. You can follow along at Arlington PD on Twitter. Just use the hashtag tweetalong. We also want to give a big shout out to North Midnights this week for catching a burglary suspect in the early morning hours on Monday. Around 3:30 a.m., a citizen called to report seeing a suspect force entry into a local business. As officers were arriving on scene, the suspect was trying to leave in his vehicle, and officers were able to initiate a traffic stop and take him into custody without further incident. In the vehicle, they were able to find burglary tools and actually even be able to return the stolen property to the rightful owner. Good job, North Midnights. In other news, Class 45 is graduating from the Basic Police Academy. 22 officers are being commissioned, and they are going to begin the next exciting phase of their journey here at the Arlington Police Department. All police recruits, after graduation of the Basic Police Academy, are placed in a police training program with a veteran officer that help further their training and get them ready for the rest of their career here at APD. It's a very, very exciting time for them. Hello again. I'm Lieutenant Carol Riddle with Youth Services, and with me today is Sergeant Steve Williams. Steve, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Steve, could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do here at APD?
Sure, I've been with the Arlington Police Department for 15 years, and I'm currently the sergeant over the Economic Crimes Unit, and we investigate computer-related and financial crimes.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. I bet that can be daunting sometimes.
It can be challenging at times.
Well, Steve, we all know that tax season is coming into full swing, and there are a lot of people out there that would like nothing more than to take advantage of our citizens. Could you tell me a little bit about what your unit sees during tax season as it relates to tax scams?
Sure. Well, first of all, identity theft is the #1 crime that we see in our unit. Now, there are many variations of identity theft, and what we see during this time of year is income tax-related identity theft. And that's essentially where a suspect files a fraudulent tax return and receives a refund that was not intended for him.
How do they file a fraudulent tax return? How does that occur?
Yeah, the suspects that are in possession of stolen personal identifying information, such as Social Security numbers, will file a fake tax return with the IRS pretending to be you. And what they'll do is they'll create bogus tax documents, typically inflating the withholdings and the credits in order to maximize their refund. When the legitimate taxpayer files his return, it bounces back rejected from the IRS because one's already been received with his Social Security number. And that's when the long process begins.
Wow, well, if someone finds out that they're a victim of a tax scam, what should they do? How should they report it?
Sure, they should, first of all, they should notify the IRS immediately. There are certain forms that the IRS requires to be filled out, and their instructions should be followed precisely. Next thing they should do is contact their local police department and file a police report with their local police department. From an investigative standpoint, these cases can be challenging. The suspects are concealed behind a computer, and they're typically loading these refunds onto prepaid debit cards, which can be difficult to trace.
How would you protect your information from all these identity thieves that are out there trying to get it?
The safety guidelines that we recommend for identity theft in general can also be applied to this particular crime. First and foremost, you should protect your personal information. Don't ever hand out your personal information during any unsolicited call or email. Also, you should install the most up-to-date antivirus and spamware on your computer. Finally, you should make sure that your home network has a firewall that's connected to it. In regards to tax refund identity theft, if you're filing a paper return, make sure that you go to the post office and actually hand deliver it to a clerk inside. Pay the extra money to get a certified copy and a return receipt to ensure that it's reaching its target. Also, if you file with a tax preparer, do some homework on this tax preparer. Research Better Business Bureau's website and just make sure that you screen this tax preparer very well before you hand over your personal information to this business. Finally, the best piece of advice is don't wait until the last minute to file your return. Once you get your tax documents, file your return as soon as possible. Basically, your tax return can only be filed one time using your Social Security number. So it's essentially a race to the starting line for these suspects. And once you file your return, you're locking out other people from filing a return in your name with your social.
Steve, that's really great advice, especially with all of the changes that are happening with tax returns and everything this year. Is there any other advice you can give myself or the citizens on anything else we can do to protect our identity?
Absolutely. Banks and credit cards offer a lot of security features that are available to their customers. And what I would encourage everybody to do is contact their bank or research it online, these security features that are available, such as instant text alerts when certain funds are transferred from your banking account or when certain purchases are made on your credit card. For instance, you can set up a text alert that will notify you immediately if any purchases are made overseas. Unless you're doing a lot of shopping with merchants and foreign companies, you may immediately recognize this as fraud, just helping you discover and detect this type of crime at the onset that it occurs.
Man, technology is amazing. The advances that have come since we started here at the department, it's just shocking. I understand that your unit maintains some great information on our website. Is that correct?
Yes. Check out our website. It's under Financial Crimes and Identity Theft. The link is located on the left-hand side of the department's website. It's been recently updated. It's a great resource center for individuals that are looking on ways to protect themselves against fraud and what to do if you are victimized from this offense.
Well, that's great. You know, we've all heard that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And suspects are just becoming more creative in ways that they learn how to defraud people, and there's more and more of these individuals that are out there, but fortunately there are ways to reduce your exposure to this type of offense.
Steve, thanks for stopping by today. You've provided us a bunch of great information on how to not be a victim to all of those ugly tax scams. I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in this week to this episode of Inside APD. Don't forget that this episode and other episodes of Inside APD can be seen on our YouTube channel. It also airs on our local government cable network daily at noon. And don't forget to join our conversation 24/7, 365 days a year. Stay alert and stay safe.